Imagine this. Today's AI can write the code for an entire app or analyze hundreds of pages of financial reports. But if you ask it to order you a coffee from Starbucks, it freezes. Why? Because the entire internet payment system is designed for humans clicking a buy button. Today, we're going to break down the underlying protocol that's tearing down this wall. We've always thought the bottleneck for AI was compute power or model parameters. But actually, the final wall preventing AI from becoming fully autonomous is economic isolation. As long as the payment system requires you to pull out your phone for a face scan or type in a password, AI will always just be an assistant, not an independent economic agent. This is the problem we are solving today. Heading into 2025, the AI economy faces three massive gaps. First, agents don't speak the same language. Second, they have no legal identity to swipe your credit card. Third, if they need to pay fractions of a cent per API call, traditional financial network fees are higher than the transaction itself. If we don't solve these three issues, the machine economy is a non-starter. To solve these three gaps, the industry has developed a four-layer protocol stack. At the very bottom, L1 is MCP, allowing AI to connect to external data. L2 is our focus today, the AP2 and X402 payment protocols. L3 is A2A, solving the communication issue. And at the very top, L4, are the various AI assistants you use every day. It's like building an exclusive internet just for AI. A lot of people easily confuse MCP and A2A. Simply put, MCP is vertical. It solves how your agent reads local files or queries a database. A2A, on the other hand, is horizontal. It allows your shopping agent to negotiate with the merchant's shipping agent. One is a USB drive for tools, the other is a walkie-talkie for chatting. Having communication skills isn't enough. How do we let AI spend money legally and compliantly? This is the context behind the birth of AP2, the Agent Payments Protocol. Google brought together over 60 tech and financial giants to create this standard. It doesn't care whether you use WeChat, a credit card, or crypto. It only solves one thing: how to prove that every penny this AI spends is truly authorized by you. How does AP2 establish trust? It invented a mechanism called the mandate. It's essentially a tamper-proof encrypted digital credential. The entire shopping process is broken down into three steps: intent, cart, and payment. Every single step requires generating an immutable contract. The first step is the intent mandate. For example, you tell the AI, "Buy me white shoes under $100. This sentence is converted into encrypted code. It essentially draws a circle for the AI. If a merchant tries to trick the AI into buying 150 shoes, the underlying protocol will flat out reject it because it exceeds your initial intent boundary. Step 2 is the cart mandate. Once the AI finds the right shoes, it generates a cart mandate. This locks in the specific model and the final price. Why do we need this? To guarantee what you see is what you pay. It prevents a scenario where the AI shows you a 90 plan, but behind your back at checkout, the merchant secretly bumps the price to 99. The final step is the payment mandate. There's a brilliant piece of design here. It includes a flag indicating whether a human is present or not present. If the AI is automatically renewing a server subscription for you in the middle of the night, that's not present, and the bank's risk control system will heighten its alert level. This mechanism perfectly solves the responsibility issue. Before we jump into the next core module, let's do a quick pop quiz. Take a second to think about it. Of the three steps we just discussed, which one is used to lock in the price and prevent hidden fees? I'll give you 2 seconds. The answer is B, the cart mandate. If you got it right, it means you've grasped the tamper-proof logic of AP2. But up to this point, we've still been talking about fiat and traditional finance. What if the AI needs to pay 0.01 per second to buy data? Credit cards absolutely can't handle that. That brings us to the next disruptive protocol. Everyone online has definitely seen 404 not found, but the creators of the internet actually wrote another status code back in 1999 called 402 payment required. Because there was no digital currency back then, this code slept for over 2 decades. Now, AI and Web3 have finally awakened this dormant code. Coinbase developed the X42 protocol based on the 42 status code. What is it for? It's specifically for AI to settle transactions worth fractions of a dollar, or even fractions of a cent. Say your AI requests someone else's weather data. It might only cost 0.01. It settles in seconds on-chain using stablecoins, with no interbank fees. By the end of 2025, this network had already processed 75 million transactions. From a technical perspective, it's incredibly elegant. When your agent requests data, the target server immediately returns a 402 status code and attaches payment requirements in the header. Please send 0205 USDC to this base chain address. Once the agent recognizes this, it automatically signs and sends the payment, and the data is returned in the very next second. This is the true machine economy. Let's look at a real demo of buying a coffee maker. You tell the AI to buy a coffee maker. The AI first uses the A2A protocol to negotiate with the merchant's AI and secures the card mandate. Then, here comes the key part. The AI won't just take your credit card to pay directly. It goes to a middleware called a credentials provider. Only after this middleware verifies everything is correct will it send the money to the merchant. Why add this credentials provider into the mix? For security. If you store your credit card number directly in the AI's memory, a hacker just needs a prompt injection attack to wipe out your funds. That's why AP2 mandates that the AI only ever gets a single-use encrypted token. It never touches your real card number. This brings about a massive paradigm shift in identity. In the past, when we built automation scripts, we made the machine pretend to be a human clicking in a browser. That's user impersonation. Now, AP2 introduces OBO, or Delegated Authority Mode. The system knows crystal clear that this transaction is executed by Agent 0I7, authorized by John Doe. This is the concept of a non-human identity, or NHI. Of course, letting machines spend money on their own makes security a paramount issue. The industry proposed the MAESTRO security framework. For instance, to prevent someone from spoofing your AI, the protocol forces the use of hardware-level keys. To prevent middlemen from tampering with prices, all mandates are encrypted with SHA-256. Every single transaction is traceable, and circuit breakers can be tripped at any moment. In this massive new market, Web3 companies have seized the early advantage. MetaMask is building wallets specifically for AI. Coinbase has laid the stablecoin tracks for X4S42. The Sway chain is solving performance issues for multi-merchant concurrent settlements. Crypto is naturally the money of machines, and the blockchain is the settlement layer of the machine economy. Next, let's see if everyone understood these core concepts. Quick quiz. What is the fundamental difference in communication direction between MCP and A2A that we just discussed? Which one is horizontal and which is vertical? The answer is C. MCP is like a USB drive. It plugs vertically down into tools. A2A is like a walkie-talkie. It communicates horizontally with other AI. Once you get this architecture straight, you'll understand the software ecosystem for the next decade. What is the endgame brought about by AP2 and X4N22? It's the zero-click economy. It's the restructuring of business models. In the future, you probably won't need to buy a $9.99 monthly subscription anymore. Your AI assistant reads an article, and it automatically pays 0.01 cents in the background via Micropayment. We are moving from static monthly licenses to a microeconomy based entirely on pay-as-you-go. Let's quickly summarize today's hardcore concepts. MCP is the tool plug, A2A is the communication walkie-talkie, and X4002 is the micropayment rail. The mandate is the digital credential, ensuring AI doesn't spend wildly, while OBO and NHI define the legal citizenship of AI in the future internet. The most important takeaway today, solving the payment gap for AI is absolutely not just to save you a few clicks. It marks the moment AI evolves from a tool that does work for us into an economic entity that can negotiate and trade independently in the market. The gears of the machine economy are already turning. Only by understanding this trend can you find your place in the architecture of tomorrow.